Well, good morning, Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and today is Thursday, the 11th of December, 2025, at about 11:55 a.m., and it's just about noontime, and we're going to do a straight razor shave. I've got approximately, I don't think it's 3 days, I think it's closer to 2 days, but anyway, I got whiskers, and they got to come off, and I did a pretty good, decent refresh on that Wade & Butcher from the last video, the last shave. Same razor, Wade & Butcher, medium, post 1891 because it says Sheffield, England on it, and not just Sheffield. And nice scales. I think they're plastic and not horn. Anyway, there's that. I'm using Sterling Soap Company's Executive Man. Very nice, lovely scent soap. And I'm using my best brush, Plasan number 20, 30 millimeter, High Mountain White, set in natural horn. And this is one of those that you've got to order directly from Plasan in France. And it goes through Charles de Gaulle Airport in customs in Paris. And eventually, in about 20, 30 days, makes it to your doorstep here in America. Now, this was before the age of tariffs, and I don't know what it would cost today with tariffs, because some of the, France is working itself pretty quick into a persona non grata relationship with the United States. So I don't know what that brush would cost today to get it into the United States legally, but it was the purchase price with shipping was a low four figures to get it from there to here. And that was about 4 years ago, 4 years ago. Anyway, lovely brush. I couldn't ask for a better brush, and I would contend there's probably none better made. I'm just trying to justify having spent that much money on it. So, anyway, we're going to lather up the brush. Load it like you hate it, like some people say. I saw Sean Staplefeld the other day make a comment about loading heavily. Yeah, soap is cheap, generally speaking. So just keep loading it. Take your excess, put it on. I'm going to rub it in here in a minute because I want to do a good, did not have a shower. I can smell a pinch, I can smell a layer of grapefruit. Very nice. All right, let's talk about building a shed, and more specifically, building rafters. That was a challenge yesterday. My wife and I are taking the day off today. She had to go into the office, and from our new and current location, that's about a little better than an hour drive for her from the house to her office in North Houston. And we're in Onalaska, Texas, near Lake Livingston. If you were to look at a map, she has to go back through Huntsville, down I-45, through Huntsville, New Waverly, Conroe, the Woodlands, Spring, where we lived before, the great disaster. And she's just on the south side of Spring, North Houston. If you were to look at a map and look at Ritchie Road off of I-45, that's near where her office is located. Anyway, so she's got to be done. Had meetings all day today. But it seems to me that we're making very good progress on this shed build that we're doing. Again, I'm 66 years old. My wife is 60. And we're not particularly experienced in that kind of building and projects. And so this is a first time experience for both of us. And based upon the videos that we watched, and one in particular, a guy by the name of Jeff at Home Reno Vision DIY on YouTube. And the video that we watched was the 4-hour, or almost 4 hour, 3:59 or whatever. And as we watch this and the different stages progressed and developed, I'm looking at my wife and she's looking at me, and we say to each other, we can do this. We could do this. And so we bought a few tools. We bought all the supplies and lumber, and lo and behold, we started. Now, I will say that my wife, the only real building experience or project-like experience was building a 2x6 by 18 deck. But that's just 2x6. You create the foundation, the joist for the floor, which is no big deal. The hardest part there, as beginners, not that we're not still beginners, was keeping it square. And we were a little out of square. And so when we started in on this, that was especially the lower deck, because we didn't pour concrete. We didn't dig holes in the ground. We used the black polymer plastic plates that you build up from, and so nothing went into the ground. Let me say a word about the razor. I did spend about 30 minutes, well, a little more than that, doing a second refresh on it, but I took it back to the 4K, 8K, 16K, jumped to the caudicle, my yellow caudicle, what I call my A caudicle, as opposed to my B caudicle, my M caudicle, my travel caudicle, to make a distinction. But those opening strokes there were just fine. Just fine indeed. I will likely not be making any further refinements. And so the So far, the most difficult aspect of the project has been finding the degree of angle on the cut of the 2x4 that goes up against the top center beam, the 24-foot beam that spans across the top of the build, because that's the beginning of the roof. And you're building the rafters and supports to put the plywood or OSB that you're going to make the roof out of. Then the paper, tar paper, roofing paper, and the shingles go on top of that. Now, there's lots of different ways of calculating the degree of angle, using anything from a speed square, a digital square to a laser square or angle finder. And the guy that's doing the video showed us a trick, a hack, like some people would say. Here's how you can do that real easy. And I'm going to try to explain it. So you've got your center beam running horizontally from end to end, the 24-foot span on our shed. And so from the ridge cap, the top of the beam, down to the top of the walls, or what are or the frames, or what's called the top plate, is a certain angle. And so you get a 2x4 laying up against the ridge beam, and the bottom end is laying on the top plate of the stud wall, and you hold a speed square flat on top of the ridge beam, and you bring your 2x4, your rafter 2x4, up to where it just touches the bottom of the speed square. Then you take a scrap piece of 2x4 and lay it flat against the rafter, with the side nearest the ridge beam square and flat against the ridge beam. The rafter is at its angle with the top of it up against the speed square, so you know it's allegedly square to the ridge beam. And then you mark your line where my little finger is. That would be where you would mark your line straight up and down vertical. And then, so when you take that away, you're at an angle, and that line represents your angle, degree of angle. Now, what do? Well, from there, you can find the degree of angle rather easily. What the video suggests, and what we did was what the video suggests, is that you take it to your miter saw. Your miter saw has a scale around the cutting area. You line up your blade with that mark that you made. You look at the scale on your miter saw, and that tells you the degree of angle. Now, we made a mistake. Don't mind saying, mistakes do happen, and I'm drying out here, so bear with me. We cut a series of rafters based on that first measurement which ended up being 14 degrees. And then we took them up top to secure them. And no, that wasn't right. Something was wrong. Something was off. So we did it again, did all that measuring and marking, and we came back with 9 degrees. All right, no problem. The good news is the boards that we had already cutting them at 9 degrees did not hurt us on the amount that was shaved off the board. It was just fine. And so we took, and we're testing along the way too, so as not to waste our wood and not to waste our cuts and time. And so those first those next few that we cut at 9 degrees, we'd cut it, go up. Going up and down a ladder at 66 years old can get tiring. And so you can see from the photograph that I had at the beginning of the video that we actually, and my wife only had a half a day to work yesterday to help me. So it was a short day and we got 0 today, but we got the boards cut at 9 degrees. The remainder of the rafters, we put 3 in our test processes. We put 3 up. They all measured out, got laid in or nailed in successfully. Now, I will say that finding the degree of angle for the rafters, just following that simple procedure that I laid out a moment ago, was a whole lot easier than actually trying to find out what the height of the ridge beam should be. I'm of the opinion that the top of our ridge board is a little low, which means that the peak of the roof is a little low. Now, it's going to be strong enough because we're going to put cross ties from one rafter to the other side and nail them in, and that will help distribute the weight of the roof. And then all throughout, we're going to put vertical pieces from what they call the collar, and that's that vertical board that rather than having milled manufactured trusses, which is a triangle, prefabricated triangle with all of the supports, and then you just lay them on and secure them in, and you're on your way. No, but you're building, it's the same idea, you're building that out yourself. And so there are supports that go vertically from the bottom 2x4 that'll connect your rafters to the ridge board. And so you go straight here, and then this distance here, you're going to put in boards. Just little blocks of wood that go from this board to the rafter board, and that becomes a support to the weight that'll be applied to the rafter weight on the roof. Which, unless you live in like Jeff at Home Rental Vision DIY, he lives in Ottawa, Ontario. So he's always talking about the difference between the load of weight from normal usage to what he calls snow weight. And of course, in the winter, you have massive amount of snow that falls. And we don't have that here. In South Texas, or in Gulf Coast, Texas, I should say. But you want to build a very strong, even though it is just a shed, you want to build it strong as possible, following good best practices, or close enough. I say close enough because we're considering putting in the cross pieces, what we call the collars, on every other rafter. And of course, it's a single piece. It's a single piece of 2x4, and it's got to be 16 feet. And so that all of a sudden, I've just added 20 more 2x4s, 16 feet. But that's all right. In for a penny, in for a pound, they say. If you're going to do it right. Or close enough. And so, having messed up on the first several cuts at 14 degrees, in order to bring them back to 9 degrees, we just laid the boards up on the miter saw. The DeWalt DWS 780 is equipped with a light, what they call a shadow light. It's not a laser. Some are equipped with lasers, but this is a shadow light that from a light that is in the blade mechanism that is casting a shadow of the blade itself downward onto where the cut line is going to be. So it's really kind of a cool deal. And so I try to get that at the point of cutting that would take off the least amount of wood to get me from the 14 degrees to the 9 degrees. And it was easy peasy once we got to going, and didn't waste any wood, which made the overall length of the board virtually the same from after I cut it, from before I cut it, and then cutting it to the 9 degrees. There was no effective difference. And we've got about a inch and a quarter overhang from the top plate, which is the top board on the frame of the 2x4s where the studs are. And so from coming down, so that angular from the ridge plate to the top plate, and then the overhang is about so much. And it's fine. It is fine. So my blade is quite sharp, but it's also extremely smooth with the conical edge on it. I can tell I've improved the edge. It's not so much that it was tugging as much as, have you ever noticed, especially with the conical, that after you've honed it, and maybe you're not 100% there, that it grows exponentially. In my experience, my opinion is that it grows exponentially faster. Maybe it's because it didn't get as clean of a cut, and there's more sitting right there on the surface ready to grow back out, and so within 24 hours you're ready to shave again. And for me, that's not, at least with the Arkansas and the synthetics and the Zulu, that's not characteristic. That's not common. Well, that's kind of all I got to report on the shed build out. So I've got the day pretty much off till my wife gets home about 6 o'clock this evening. She's got to work a full day. So I'm going to get some rest. I'm going to do my best to get a good nap in here this afternoon. And I was up at 7:30-ish this morning because my wife was banging around in the bedroom, and what are you going to do? I may get in some shave videos this afternoon too. See who's doing what. Third pass, against the grain. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Very good. Nice and smooth. It was a smooth and comfortable shave, very characteristic of a good conical edge. And so let's go ahead and move on to the head shave. That won't take me just a few minutes. And we'll use the Wade & Butcher. We'll continue with the Wade & Butcher instead of changing razors. That lather sure dried out. Yep, very nice. All right, that's where I think I'll leave it. And let's rinse out the brush, get all the soap lather into the water for a face rinse with alum block. I think that'll do for now. We'll do a more thorough clean after off camera. All right, got the alum block in my hand. Oh, that's just, you can barely tell I've even had a shave. No sting, such mild sensation that you would think, what is that? What is that? Is that alum block? All right, make sure you get a good rinse off, get the alum block off your hands, off your face. It's done its job. As soon as you feel it applied to your face, it's doing its job and helping to close the pores and desensitize the skin for when you apply your alcohol-based aftershave. It helps to reduce the sting of that. Okay, I'm gonna dump out this basin over here. Do a little rinse out. I'm going to set this over here. All right, let's see here. Alum block. I still want to finish. Let's wipe the razor off our very nice Wade & Butcher medium. It's about a 6/8. The markings are all in very nice condition. Very nice condition. I wouldn't say they're spectacular. Anyway, there's that. But they're quite legible. Set them out of my way. I want to finish off this George Trumper extract of limes. Okay. I got one, maybe two more dabs like that. All right, that feels pretty good. And my aftershave for today, Florida water. Inexpensive, alcohol-based, very nice scent in my opinion. And it's inexpensive off of Amazon. And with the extract of limes face food, balm that we put on first, this is a nice complement to that. All right, you know what? I think I'm going to be, since I'm basically just going to lazy away the afternoon, put on some powder. Again, this is a Pinaud. What's the name of this? Pinaud Clubman powder. And I use this not only for the shaving and post-shave treatment like you're seeing now. I also use this for after a shower, kind of a body powder for under the arms and on the chest. Well, that feels good. And it smells good too. It's got a very pleasant scent to it. And that's it. I'm going to go lay down and watch one of the videos, shave videos, and get some rest. Tired I'm tired. I'll see you down the road. Thank you.